Morning, guys. I wanted to post a Excel 2 video. Sorry for my voice being so scratchy. Just recovering from sickness here. Okay, I was smarter this time, got everything set up ahead of time. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So, this is Excel 2. Oh, shoot. I didn't share my screen. Let's try it again. This is Excel 2. And there's a couple things that you need to do. And again, I'm not going to do it for you. I'm going to show you how to do it. So I'm going to make up a different situation over here. And we'll have this be Ben's daily consumption. Hot dogs, chips, bottles of beer, and I don't know, Cinnabons. Okay, so if I eat 2 hot dogs, 29 chips, 3 bottles of beer, and 14 Cinnabons, I can make a pie chart out of this. Don't think too hard about it. This is a really dumb example. Okay, but anyways, I need to, number one, get the total for everything. That was one of the instructions. This is going back to, a previous section. So one of the things, I'm sorry, let me zoom in. This is very small. Don't forget, you can look back at your past Excel assignments. You can Google stuff if you don't remember how to do it. But in general, the Excel assignments are going to build on themselves, which means if you did something last time, you may be asked to do it again this time without explicit instructions. So equals sum. And again, I'm going to drag to show what I'm doing the sum of. Basically, the syntax there means start at B2, colon means go all the way through cell B5. So that's adding everything up. Okay, now I'm going to insert a chart. So to do this, I first highlight the data. Now it's very important that I don't do this. This is kind of a common instinct. I put total down here. So let me just show you what's wrong with this so you can understand it. So I highlighted everything because I was like, oh, I'm going to make a pie chart. Okay, so I click insert, then I click on the little pie guy, it opens up the title. I just want to point out up here, you get options. Same thing happens in PCs, and there's some of them that have percentages, which is nice. Okay, this might make it a little more clear what the problem is. How many categories did I have? Well, let's see. I had hot dogs, chips, bottles of beer, and Cinnabons. That's 4 categories. How many pieces of pie do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here it is. I'm including the total as if it were another category. It's not thinking of the total as the total. That's a problem. It makes up 50% because everything here adds up to 48, and then you have this other category called total, which is 40. This is wrong. I don't want everything. I want just the data. So that's my suggestion about that. Now, when you go to do this, you insert again, do that. You can click on the chart title, and that selects it. That means you can move it, right? But if you want to write something in it, just double click, and then you can start typing. This is a better title. In general, you want to have thoughtful titles when you're making charts. So if you're a person who's actually doing this for some purpose, you want to spend some time thinking about what is this chart telling me? Something like Ben has a terrible diet. I probably don't need a period there. Okay, so that's the big part of, wait a minute, I think that's it for the Excel assignment. Then you got the summary questions. Now, a couple points about the summary questions. Number one, this is an opportunity to practice writing in the context of math, thinking about numbers and whatever. Okay, so if you look at the summary question, again, let me zoom in here, close this, zoom in. There's a couple questions. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I should have at least 4 sentences here. If I just start typing over this, the chart shows me blah, 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 blah. Then it overwrites it. Now that's important to know, because if I click out of it and go look at something else, and then I come back and start typing, and I wanted, oh no, I lost all the stuff that I wrote before. But you can always undo what you did by doing Control-Z or Command-Z if you're on a Mac, or using this button up here. It's undo. Right? If you click on the cell, then you click again, double click maybe, yeah, double click, then you can pick up where you left off. The chart shows me that blah, blah, blah. Notice that I can use the words in the question often to frame the answer, right? There's nothing illegal or cheating about that. In your opinion, so you say, in my opinion, it is easier to see blah, blah, blah. I would add because, right? Kind of explain what you're thinking there. What is the full number of married men? Okay, these last 2 questions have some math to them. Number 1, full number of married men that are head of the household. So one of the things I'm getting at here is for you to pay attention to this chart, because this is one of the things we've been practicing in class. So it should be easy to pick out the number, but don't forget that there may be something in the words that say, hey, these numbers aren't what they seem, right? And so let's just remind ourselves about that. If this, let's change the context here. Ben's friends in hundreds, right? So if he has in Alaska, in Washington, in Kentucky, in Illinois, Indiana, right? So if I say, how many friends does Ben have in Alaska? And you say, Ben's got 2 friends, well, you're missing something, right? That's not 2 friends, because I've said up here that it's in hundreds. So that means 200 and 2,900 and 300. Oops, 300. So the point of doing that in a chart is that it just makes it easier to read. The bad news is that some people are going to look at that and overlook this detail and not put it together. So I'm helping you get some practice in doing it. It happens in the homework, it happens in the book, it happens in real life. Okay, and then what's the ratio of number B3 to B7? So I'm asking you to write a ratio. You're welcome to use Excel to do it, right? Remember, if I want to make a ratio, I want to turn it into a fraction, and I can use Excel to calculate the decimal. So if I want the, say, ratio of friends in Alaska to friends in Kentucky, then I would have equals 2 divided by 3. And Excel does the division for me. It doesn't do any rounding, right? But then that allows me to start to answer the question. Oh, shoot. Sorry. That allows me to start to answer the question, right? Which is, what is the ratio? So this last question, we've talked about this a couple times, but you need to pay careful attention to questions that are multi-part. Maybe you put a star next to them or underline them, because there's 2 parts here. There's the and in the middle, right? What's the ratio? So tell me the ratio. So if this was the question on the other side, I would say the ratio of friends in Alaska to friends in Kentucky is 0.67, or don't be afraid to round, period. That's part of my answer, right? But then I also need to say, how does it connect to the pie chart? Okay, and so then I have to figure out, well, what's the connection? Now, it's a little hard to give you a hint here on this one without really just telling you the answer. But I'll point out this. Remember that, well, first of all, if you put the percentages on your chart, I think you're going to see something when you do this ratio calculation. But remember that part to part versus part to whole, one of the important distinctions is one of them can be made into a percentage. Okay, so that's my hint. If you're still struggling with it, let me know. I think that's all you need. Remember, you save that somewhere that you can find it, and then you go back and you submit it. I'm not going to show you that because it doesn't show up on my screen. You guys are doing great. Keep working hard. I'm going to have these first Excel assignments graded pretty soon, so you can get your feedback on that. And have a great day.